What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day. And today the Chicago Bears have hired Dennis Allen to be their next defensive coordinator. And I love this hiring for the Chicago Bears, bringing in a experienced coach to be the new defensive coordinator. For Ben Johnson, he's going to deal with the offense, and you got Dennis Allen, a former head coach, dealing with the defense. And I've talked about this, I don't even know how many times, this off season or in years past, but there are countless guys in this league that are brilliant or just good or great defensive or offensive coordinators, but absolute dog crap head coaches. Like Josh McDaniels, for example, is one of the best offense coordinators I've ever seen, and yet, even though he is one of the best offensive coordinators that you'll find in football, is probably at the same time one of the worst head coaches you'll find in football as well. And so that is, and he coached a team that Dennis Allen coached as well with the Raiders. Dennis Allen, didn't spend as much as time as basically the same amount of time Dennis Allen spent in Oakland with the Raiders that he did in New Orleans with the Saints. So it's been really bad for him as head coach. Had 2 4-12 seasons in Oakland. I want to say Vegas, but in Oakland with the Raiders in 2012 and 2013. Then in 2014 they start off 0-4 in the season and they fire him. Then obviously in 2011 he was the Broncos defensive coordinator. And he did such a great job as a defensive coordinator in Denver, and that's what got him the job with the Raiders going into 2012. Then, after he gets fired from Vegas in 2014, he goes to New Orleans in 2015, becomes the defensive coordinator. Then from 2015 through 2021, he's the defensive coordinator, and he had some great years as a defensive coordinator there. And that's one of the reasons for 6 years while he's the defensive coordinator there. That's why when Sean Payton left, they're like, okay, this is the replacement. And obviously wasn't that great as a head coach there. They had some solid season, like 7-10. That's 7-10 is not a good season, but I will say 7-10 when it's your first year as a head coach isn't that bad. And then look, 9-8 isn't that bad either. Second season as a coach. So if you ask me, his first 2 years in New Orleans, I actually don't think we're that bad. To go 16-18 in your first 2 seasons as a head coach in New Orleans, not that bad. But it's this year where it becomes a problem. Like losing 7 straight games, that's where you have to cross the line. Sure, I think there were moments in the first couple years with Dennis Allen that you might think, hey, maybe we need to let this guy go. Maybe he's not the right guy. But I think 16-18 record in your first 2 years is not alarming to say, hey, we got to let go of this guy. But it was this year when, hey, sure, you look great. You start off 2-0, but then you lose 7 straight. And I think that's where New Orleans had to, pull the trigger and had to let go of Dennis Allen. I understand that. And so he was terrible in Vegas as head coach. Went 8-28 in there. Went 18-25 in New Orleans. So it's definitely been tough for him. And but I'm excited to see what he can do in Chicago because, like I said, so many guys can be great defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators and then be such terrible head coaches. And Dennis Allen very well might be a great example of that because really everywhere he's gone as a defensive coordinator, he's been great. I mean, he was great in Denver for the 1 season there, and he was great in New Orleans. So I wouldn't be surprised if that continues with Chicago. And Chicago has a great defense. Even though their offense was really bad last year, most times their defense was really good. And so I think there are a couple weaknesses. Maybe you need to add in a edge rusher for the Chicago Bears defense, and that will be good, or a defensive tackle. But I think this Bears defense is looking pretty good going to next season, especially with Dennis Allen being the guy that's going to be running things on the defense, coaching-wise. Let me know your thoughts on the hire for the hire for the Chicago Bears in the comment section. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.